Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Music's going. Got my Eskimo Joe shirt on from Oklahoma. It is Friday. We are live. Let's kick this thing off. See you guys in a second. What's up, William? What's going on, everyone? Thank you, guys, so much for tuning in. Thank you. Camera's taking a minute there, but it's okay. We have worse. What is going on, everyone? It is Friday. Of course, it's an Ask Me Anything. This is where we just kick back, have a good time. I answer your guys' questions. It's Friday night. It's getting a little bit colder outside, and hey, what better way to spend your evening than watching a car audio podcast? So thank you guys tuning in. DIY guy, what is going on? I hope you're doing good, man. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I know you might not have too many questions to ask me, but hey, I appreciate that you're here. And I know a lot of you guys don't, but it's okay, because some of you guys are just way smarter than me, and it's okay. But you know what? You stay around people that are smarter than you, you'll get smarter. William, what's going on, man? Hey, living loud with Andy Friday late night. Thank you for all you do. How's the Chronicles of the Test Bench? You're a rock star. It's getting there. Of course, I have the enclosure put together. I actually am just ordering some more bolt down not even the distribution block, just bolt down top terminals for a battery for a lug style. Getting some of those for that so I can run any kind of amplifier and the lug connections just to make things a little simpler. I do like the ones where like they're a 1-aught or, you know, whatever insert But, you know, over time, sometimes they're easier, but I don't know. I like the lug connection. Plus, I just bought an $80 hydraulic gripper. I kind of want to use it. So, yeah, there's that. One step at a time, William. It's getting there. Kayla's actually working on something. If you checked out the Discord, I threw a few pictures on there about what she's got going on in the Patreon. So check it out there. If not, man, it's coming along, man. It really is. So I appreciate you guys and just getting everything together. Is my internet a little shaky? I'm looking over here. It's looking kind of not good at all. Oh, wow. That's not good. Let me cancel out of there. Andy Laggy. Yeah, see? I wonder what's going on here. FBI van. Gotta love those names here. Oh, man. I don't know why my internet's kind of slow. I'll tell Kayla to jump off the Wi-Fi. Maybe that'll help. Sorry, guys. Oh, you know what? Now it's working a little bit better since I took down the YouTube. I was looking at the YouTube so I could see the super chats because, you know, those don't work. To see them. Maybe that did it. I don't know. Darn. You know, I got Ethernet connection, hard connection, so it's not just Wi-Fi. Either way, jump to 720 and try rejoining. Let me know if it cleared up any. I know I used to have to run it at 720 when I was doing a bunch of stuff just because the computer was having a hard time. But that's the first. I seen it as soon as I started the live stream here on Scott's. It was fine. But here, as soon as I started the intro, it said low internet. I'm like, are you kidding me? Here we go. Yeah, we're pushing the 1080. How'd you know? Thanks for tuning in, SJC. Looks better. Lagging like crazy. Man, you know, that's the worst. When you're lagging right in the beginning of the show. God, that is the worst. Internet is mad shaky. I know, I just happened to look over there. I'm like, man, that's really, really bad. Clearing up. Good. Good. Okay, so maybe it was because I was streaming on the YouTube over here just so I could see the super chats. Maybe that's what did it. Not enough bandwidth. Points off, Kayla. You know, it's the Mickey Mouse Club and Bryson watching YouTube with Transformers. Just a lot going on. You know, I actually upgraded a little bit. I think I have 30 gigabytes or whatever it is, megabytes upload per second. Upload is the important part for this. I think it's as high as I can get without running something crazy. I don't know, Xfinity. I want to change it, honestly. All right, good. I'm glad it works better. Thank you guys for letting me know. Frank Herb, I know you had a question, and I starred that, so I'm going to get to that. RGA, good here now. Awesome. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, yeah, Andy, for viewing Super Chat, just run that off your phone. Okay, you know what? You're smart. Thank you, John. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in and everything else you've been doing for me. Love you, buddy. Thank you. All right, let me, yeah, I should just do that from now on, huh? Let's see here. Who's this guy? Living Loud with Andy. Okay, ask me anything. What's he talking about here? All right, cool. So we got that. That's better than nothing, right? Maybe we can crop that over here or, you know, somewhere. I have a phone stand. I don't know where the heck I put that thing. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Good. I 420p is on point. Exactly. It was pretty bad. Oh, man. All right, Andy. Yes, 25. What's going on, man? Yes, this is the Eskimo Joe shirt from Stillwater. Wish I could show you the back here. They are very well, you can see it a little bit down there. I think they were the #1 selling shirt worldwide at one point, and it's just this little store, restaurant type deal thing down in Oklahoma, down in Stillwater, right down the road from Kicker. And man, you know, it's just crazy that something just like that started somewhere down there. You know what I mean? Like literally, and they had the #1 selling T-shirt. I remember them telling me, I don't know if it was a world or a certain country or whatever the situation, stipulations would be. Very popular place, and it was cool to go down there. Got some swag from them, and thank you, Steve, for the swag for the family, man. Again. Awesome stuff, and got to eat their food, and it was great, man. It was a cool experience, and you know, it's just the souvenir. It's a souvenir, and it wasn't Kicker, so it was pretty cool. But still Kicker in mind. So And it was just pretty cool. Like I was like, I'm gonna wear that shirt tonight, and then Kayla got the boys all dressed in them, so they're all matching today. It was great. So love it, man. And you know what's crazy? I don't know if I could say this. I guess I could say this. I think that they have a few people that work there now, or they work at Kicker, or they have ties with them down there that used to work there and still work there, and so it's kind of like a family operation down there. And I don't know, it's just some crazy stuff, and they go hand in hand with some of the designs from Kicker that you see today. So it's just one and the same, man. It really is. I wish I knew more about it, but when I went down there, it was just like, listen, you got to know. You don't know about Eskimo Joe's? You got to go down there. You got to get some swag. That's how it was, man. Appreciate you tuning in, 25. All right, we got half the voltage tonight. I don't know. Voltage is looking kind of shaky recently, but it's okay, man. We just been hard clipping. Hopefully we get it all back. We need all 14.4 volts tonight. 420p, exactly, man. Exactly. What's your prescription on your glasses? I don't know. Blind. Can't see very good far away. I remember they used to, qualify glasses as 80-20, 40-20, 20-20, but now they do want to go on a different spectrum, so I don't even know what I have. But I'm not blind, but I just can't see things far away. Not at all. Again, this is the question that I saved here. Frank Irvine, thank you for tuning in again, man. I'll throw you out the first question. Which would you rather, 2 Kicker Comp R12s or 4 Kicker Comp R8s? Gately box subwoofer boxes. Gately audio subwoofer boxes. Just used to saying Gately boxes. Going for your nose itch amount of bass. Well, 2 12s and 4 8s are pretty close in cone area. 2 12s is 226. 4 8s, what is an 8? Around 50, is it 50 or 60 square inches? Well, it'd be 4 times 4 times pi. So 4 times 4 is 16 times pi. So we'll say 16 times 3. What's that? 32. Yeah, about 50. 48 something, 50.24. I don't know. Something like that. So you would have a little bit less cone area, about 200 square inches compared to 212. But it's very close. So it's a very debatable idea of bringing this question up, where which one do I go with? Which one actually has more cone area, or which one will perform better? I mean, honestly, it comes down to a few things, maybe power handling. The 12 Comp Rs, are these sealed or shallow? Let me think. Comp R, yeah, just the regular Comp R12, which is what, 400, 500 RMS. And then the 8s are what, 300, 250 RMS, give or take. It can't be too much. 8s are, they just don't take much power. This one takes 400. The Q is 450. So about 1,000 RMS compared to about 1,000 RMS, maybe a little bit more. It's, you're kind of pulling hairs on this. I feel like what really comes down to it is what's going to fit in your application better. Where if you want to have them all 4 8s firing into the car, where the Gately box usually is for, not usually, but I see them more often, it's the truck boxes. So if you got 4 8s like Bubba, firing in, and that's what you want, then you could go with that. But then if you want to have a downfiring enclosure, you can't do that. Or you can't put 12s in a facing forward kind of design where your seats are. Now, if it's just any kind of vehicle, 2 12s or 4 8s, I mean, again, I feel like it's going to be a very close comparison. I feel also the 2 12s might just outdo just because they're 12s. And you have 2 of them, and it's going to keep up fairly well. The 4 8s, just how they're designed, they might be a little bit more punchier. Regardless the enclosure you have them in, they might just, play a little bit higher. Again, punchier. We didn't get that whole rhyme or reason of, 8s and 10s are for punchy bass, 12 is for everything, and 15s and 18s are for lows. They tend to play like that, but the overall design of the enclosure and the speakers play a huge part, more so than just that alone. But there's that factor. So if you want the nose itch, I feel like the 8s might give you more of a nose itch, or maybe they'll give you more of a, I don't even know, a nose wiggle? for the 12s? Very good question, man. I like getting stumped on stuff like that, but you know, it's all in kind of what works for your build, and maybe money too. Maybe the 212s would be a cheaper option than buying 4 of the 8s, but if you only have so much space to fit, the 8s might be your only option, man. Thank you for tuning in and your questions, Frank. Kibo with the $10 super chat. A little 14.4 rain on behalf of our boy Deviant 25 and the rest of the 14.4 volt crew. Man, I hope Deviant tunes in tonight, man. You know, with everything going on the sidelines, I hope everything works out. I really do. You know, honestly, man, it's been bothering me. It's been driving me crazy, and we just want to have uniformity in this community, man. You know, no speed bumps. Less the better. 14.4 volt for the win, buddy. Thank you for tuning in, Kibo. Hey, I'm glad to send you some links or some ideas of other live streamers that we do here. You know, MBE is one of them. Thank you, Bill, for throwing out that idea. I totally forgot. I thought everybody knew MBE. You know, he's like one of the main guys that streams every week, and he just happens to stream Friday, too. And it's nice to hear what he has to say, get everyone's input, you know? Not everyone's right about everything. They're not, man. And if they say they are, they're not. 25 says, make it rain, guys. Appreciate you, 25. He is making it rain. He is making it rain. 4 8s, 200.9. Okay, so I was darn close. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Mullen. Colin Patton, thank you for tuning in. Sorry, I'm trying to get to these comments as quick as I can. I'd love to see some Kicker Pro audio and super tweeters. Did you hear about the ST line? They released that, right? Yeah, sort of, kind of, sort of. Yeah, they got pro audio, mid drivers, and tweeters. So you guys gotta check them out when they come out, man. The L7Xs are already in packages, so you know they're almost ready, man. I'm excited. I hope by Christmas, but I feel like that's still a little too early to be like, oh yeah, let's hope that they're going to be here for Christmas. I'm feeling maybe right after too, because shipping during Christmas time, I used to work at UPS for 3 years, is a nightmare. So I don't know, but we just hope to see those products to come soon as they are ready to be purchased, man. I cannot wait. And hopefully that makes you feel better tonight, man, knowing that they got pro audio stuff coming. Not pro audio as in, you know, 15-inch loaded horns, but, you know, they have that for their little events and everything. I know, I always wanted one. I was like, hey, can you build me one of those? Please, please. Bubba with a $20 super chat. Thanks for tuning in, Bubba. Love ya, Deviant for life. Hope you are okay from our 14.4 volt talk Discord crew. Hit the like, people. That number a wee bit low. Hey, it's okay, Baba. You know, I know with these live streams, too, it's like you don't even see the updated likes unless you exit out of it and go back. The only reason I know is because I usually go from my stream of Kicker Unmasked to the actual Kicker stream of Unmasked, you know, my channel, their channel. And when I go back and forth, the likes will change. Otherwise, they kind of stay stagnant. It's weird. It doesn't refresh. But I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. You've been killing it. The Kicking It With Andy, I think, had like 45 likes, and we had a concurrent 44 viewers for the whole stream, as YouTube says. So that's very solid numbers, and hey, 1 for 1, I will take it, man. I appreciate you guys so much. And Baba, again, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. I really do. Dave says, y'all have a great night. 14.4 at 7.2 volts. I know. You know what? Hey, it happens, man. You drop a cell, but you know what? I am determined. I do it with so many batteries, you know. They'll read 0 volts, and I'm sitting there forcing it, you know, trying to put 10 amps of current to this thing at 30 volts, you know, just sending it and bringing it back to life. And sometimes they actually come back to life. And I wouldn't say it's 100% better, but it's better than not working at all. So hopefully we can force this battery instead of trying to put it in battery recondition mode, because that never works. Matt G, what is going on, man? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Oh, Dave's already bouncing. He's jumping in the jacuzzi. Awesome, awesome. SJC, repping 14.4 volt for life. Absolutely, man. I'm still waiting on that banner. I am. I got space for it, I'm telling you. Right right there, you know, and honestly, the kicker clock can move over a little bit. I want it pan back a little bit, depending, and I mean, I can't move the Living Loud with Andy one. I kind of leave these here for the Kicking It With Andy show, so you know what you win. Even though you really can't see it, they are there. You know, the Cush, the Tabors, and the EB 400s. And I got a little bit of space, so it would be perfect, man. It would be perfect. You got to check it out, man. But you got to get the link from Deviant. You got to get the link. If you're in there, you already know, man. It's an awesome private Discord. You know, really is. I like it just because you can just let your hair back, really, honestly, you know, and it's kind of started a lot of the community. It really has, you know, of getting everyone together, and man, you know, not everybody has Facebook, not everybody has Instagram, so it's a blessing, man. It really is. I wish we would have known about it earlier. I've always heard of Discord. I've always thought it as a gamer thing that went along with Twitch and Reddit, you know, and I'm like, I'm not no gamer. Now you guys are on there. It's like, oh, well, okay, cool. You know, you guys don't do Facebook. A few of you do. I usually have the ones that have Facebook on Facebook, but you know how Facebook is. It's different. And YouTube, I wish there was just instant messaging on YouTube. That'd be kind of perfect. But they don't care about us. I know, that's what I'm saying. 25 says, I am at 14.4, change to lithium until Deviant wises up. I mean, you can raise your nominal voltage per cell, so, man, an 18-volt system might be really pushing it, but 14.4, as long as we're there, we'll survive. You know, we need good voltage here. You know, anywhere you go, you need good voltage. What is the Chrome amp SJC? Thank you for asking. I had this on the Kicking With Andy show, and I'm like, it's not kicker, but it's an awesome amp, and this thing is just huge. All right, so it's actually a Boss, and I don't want to move everything because if I pull this, it's like, I don't even know. Not even Tetris. What's the Jenga? Yeah, that thing. It's like Jenga around here, okay? You pull one thing, the whole thing's gonna fall. It's a Boss, and I don't even know what year it's from. It's so hard to find anything on it. It's a Rev 4. It's a 4-channel. It's got 50 amps of fusing, man. For a 4-channel Boss amp, I mean, it is bigger than an 18 Solo X. It's about the same size, if not a little bit longer. And it's got these crazy looking heat sinks on the side, the fins, and it's got VU meters. I know it's kind of hard to tell with the lighting and stuff like that, and you can see through with a little plexiglass, and of course it screams at you that it's got 1400 watts, but we're not going to believe that number. But either way, for a 4-channel and 50 amps of fusing, that's more than some usually have, man, so you know it's going to do some power. It literally came in the box and everything, man. The thing is beautiful. Came with the manual. Of course, the manual does not say the year and date it was made, but for Boss Audio VU meter, and I actually have another one too. It's not as a good shape as this one, and it's about half the size, but either way, I feel like Boss, you know, they're not the worst. They're really not the worst, and I got a few of them. That's my 4th Boss amp, 5th. I have a lot of Boss. I like Boss. Boss and Cost, man, they go hand in hand. Thanks for tuning in, SJC. Andy, I'll send you the one that got sent here. Awesome, Dave. Awesome. I appreciate you. Make sure it's a little one. If it's real big, I'm going to have a hard time hanging it here. I know you guys had a smaller one. I'm like, that's perfect. That's perfect, because you guys see the background, man. I got a lot of crap here. Frank. Thank you, man, again for your questions. This is what we do. Appreciate it, guys. Otherwise, I'd just be sitting here looking at all these kickers and stuff. Second question. Do you prefer port on the same plane as the woofer or port out the side or wherever it fits? Well, man, whew. Again, I mean, if you're talking efficiency, strictly efficiency, you kind of want to have everything on the same side just so everything's kind of working. But then even that can hurt maybe a little bit of bandwidth because of how a port cancels out the woofer, and because of the port flexing at different times because of the frequency being played, and then, you know, how that kind of stuff works. So, what do I like better? Honestly, I like it, you know, on a different direction, so it gives me more different boundary loading. Like sub up, port back, so I could switch it to make sub back, port up if I really wanted to and see a little bit of a difference. Now, with the ports on the side and sub firing back or forward, that also gives you, I would say, a little bit more of a leaned system, one side of the vehicle compared to the other. At least if you're just talking SPL. If you have your port on the left side of the vehicle, you know, and the meter's on the right side, that's the best way to do it. It's because it's furthest away from the meter. If you put that meter on the same side of that port, no matter what orientation, it's not going to be as loud because it's just not going as far in 90% of the situations, depending frequency, all that kind of fun stuff. So if you're talking just a regular demo vehicle, and I mean, honestly, you're not going to tell it by ear too much, but just a more well-rounded, I guess you could say in a way, system, you kind of want your port and your subs all firing on the same way. It's just going to work a little bit easier, better with the vehicle, because the vehicle works as a, a vibrating ripple of sound too, you know? Your door's flexing. There's a reason why they're doing that. You know, it's a sonic membrane, you know, constantly going back, forth, all the way through, just how sound is and how it works, man. So whenever you have everything firing one way, it might work a little bit better. That's why a lot of people love sub up, port back, because you get a little bit of that canceling wave, and for some reason, it just sounds really good. Now, SPL, I haven't actually tested that, like port on the same side as the sub versus sub up, port back in the same enclosure, same port. Maybe that's something I would like to do, but I would probably want to do it with an external port, but then I'm going to run into different loading characteristics, because when you're loading against a trunk, you can get a lot closer to the trunk and push it back where you want. When you have it sub up, you know, you can't get any closer to the ceiling unless you like raise it up, and then you're changing more in the vehicle than you normally would by just sliding the box forward or back. So there's that con too. There's so much to the stuff, man, but that's why I kind of like answering these questions in depth, just to give you kind of a simplified explanation of kind of how the stuff works, you know, at least the way I understand it, and not to go too crazy over it, but man, you know, whatever really works for you, try both, man. And honestly, you're not going to notice a big difference. You're going to notice more of a difference because of the type of enclosure, the port size, the enclosure size, how much power. You're going to notice those factors way more than which side the orientation is, unless you're firing into the cabin and you're not sealed off. Then that's when I tell people, fire the port to the side. You need boundary loading unless you're sealed off, or you're way back in the way to the back of the trunk and you got like a foot or two before you even get to your back seats. Then you can have forward facing port with forward facing subs, but for some odd reason, if you don't have it like that and you're kind of close up to the back seat, you need that port firing to the side with just boundary loading. And how those physics work, I think it's more with the cancellation with the port, with the vehicle, and how that stuff works, and the wave pretty much extending to where it needs to be. I don't know. It's a lot of crazy stuff. But the more you learn about it, the more you don't know. And it's like, man, okay, well, I thought that was the perfect thing. But hey, it is what it is. Thank you for your comment. SJC, Deviant, the creator and innovator of 14.4 volts. Talk. No kidding, Andy, that would be sweet. No kidding, Andy, that would be sweet. Absolutely, man. Oh, you're talking about the banner? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Got to get those receipts, man. We are gamers. We play car audio, though. Hey, you know what? I was a wannabe gamer, you know, Madden and all that stuff, PS2, PS3. I didn't really migrate past that, you know. It's all good. If I did, it would be bad. It would be bad. You guys wouldn't see anything. Be like, where's Andy? I thought he was going live this week. He hasn't went live in a month. It's because I'm glued to a PlayStation game or something. John with a 14.4 super chat. Thank you, man. Hit that like, people. Keep hope. That balance will be brought to the force. Andy, I hope to see you at the after party tonight. Absolutely, man. And that's what it is for, man. You know, just to be able to talk to you guys after. Because you know what? I see these super chats come in at the end of the caboose. And it's like, I'll see you guys next time. And I don't hear about, you know, hey, well, I thought I won. I was above yours. Or, you know, you were behind mine. And Andy didn't do this. Andy didn't do that. And you know what? I love that. I love it. And that's what's great about the 14.4 Talk Discord, man. It is great. And I'm not lying to you guys. I'm not lying to you guys. But it's a secret club, secret Discord, and if you know a guy, you might be able to get in, man. And that's what it is, literally what it is. All right, let's see. I'm gonna scroll down here a little bit. Just got my TikTok account suspended, man. You know, I already got flagged a few times. I was not suspended, but I was demonetized for 6 months. Because I kept posting videos of subwoofers exploding, and my buddy had like a marijuana, like literally leaf on his shirt, and they flagged it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I am the most PG-13 content creator out there compared to a lot of other guys, and I'm just like, really? 6 month ban, whoop-pam, done. And that was 6 months ago, so it's okay. I made $60 on TikTok, and I already hit like maybe 2 million views with all the videos. It's not worth it, guys. It's not. You got to be making millions of views every day. Then you make some money, but honestly, you make money elsewhere. It's fun just to do, you know, and just like what we do here, but for more junk food kind of stuff. Larry Keller, you're going to have to go to the Discord, man. You missed a lot. I don't know if it's better you know or you don't know. I'm at fault. I'm always at fault. It happens. Ronco 160, thank you for tuning in, man. I have an old Boss amp 3K 90 amps. Hey, you know what? 90 amps on a Boss amp, it probably might almost do 1,000 watts wired to the dirt. I bet you it might. I bet you it might. Boss and cost connections. Yes. Bobby B is in the building. What is going on, Bobby? Thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate you guys just hanging out. You know, this is what's cool about Friday, where we just kind of just hang out, you know, and Tuesdays are more kicker, you know. I mean, it's Kicker Tuesday, man. It needs to be an official thing in the calendar. Whenever they print out the calendars for Kicker next year, they just need to put like on Tuesday, like, you know, unmasked, you know, just every Tuesday, just so people will tune in. Hey, that's a good idea. Sandy, think about it. Think about it. Baba says, darn it, the interface won't allow me to make 14.40. You gotta do it on your computer. I know the phone is weird. I know I can only pick $199, $499, $999, you know, etc. I wish I could just put certain ones or just make it even, man. Come on. Oh, it's all good though, man. It's all good. Dub team is here. It's gonna be rowdy, yes. Very, very, very rowdy. John's poking the bear. Yes. Alright, let me scroll down here. You guys are side jagging. SJC, side port for loading in the corner. Yeah, you know what? Boundary loading is such a thing, and that really goes hand in hand with, you know, the speaker orientation video I did on Tuesday, and I feel like I could do that again. There's just so much to it. And absolutely. You know, that's why when I did that video, it was one with a port on the same side, so that the variables were less, because when you're flipping a box that has a port on the side, you're changing two sides at once rather than just one of just where the bass is going, in a way, because bass goes every way, but in a way. That's why the very first video I did was sealed, because, and I even said it right in the beginning, I'm like, the port can be here, 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 and there's so many different variables. So which speaker orientation works best for me or you? And it depends, man. It really depends what type of enclosure. Do you have side loaded, you know? And boundary loading is just how things work. I learned boundary loading like a lot of you guys are, because I know a lot of you guys started out with home audio. And you'll learn where you put that speaker in the right part of the corner. It gets real boomy, man. Or if you walk right in front of it, it's not as loud, and then you walk towards the corner, it's louder, and you walk towards the other corner, it's not as loud. You learn how these things work. And it's just learning that with your vehicle and putting it to practice and just spending some time on your system and messing with stuff. It will gain you performance and experience in the long run, man. And then it's just worth it. It really is. All right, let me scroll down. 25. Andy, real question. I thought every question from you was real. The everlasting AGM battery CCA Vega featured on one of his vids for 2000 RMS. AGM battery CCA Vega. Well, we know Vega CCA. Featured on one of his videos for 2000 RMS. The everlasting AGM. Everlasting. Ever start? Ever. I know he did the lithium iron phosphate. What are those? The red ones. Not the Ding Dong Ying Longs. Not the C-Max. Oh, man. Give me a second. Oh, I should know this. The lithium cells. The lithium bank that's good for 2,000 watts. I think that's what you're talking about. The AGM one, I'm not too sure about. I feel like any AGM is really good for 2,000 RMS, if you want to call it that. But your voltage is going to be sagging, especially with your standalone battery. It's just not going to be able to handle 300 amps of discharge for a while. It's just going to die. And how AGMs are rated, their discharge, recharge values are way different than lithium. But man, you know, I've clamped 4K out of a battery, you know, over and over and over with like 50 amps of input. Okay, so I was pulling probably 500 amps of current. So can it handle? Yeah, sure. And just like CCA, can it work? Sure. You know, it just really comes down to your alternator input power. You know, if you got a Geo Metro, Honda Civic, something with a 60 amp alternator, and you got one battery in the back, it's not going to do as well as if you got like a, 2010, diesel truck that's got, maybe a high output alternator for that, like 150, 180 amps stock. And usually diesels have higher rated alternators. So you would be better. And it's that it takes power to make power. That input current is what is going to tell you how long your system's going to last with the voltage that you have. Because of the input current, the battery's eventually going to be exhausted. Just like anything rechargeable. You just, you charge it, it lasts, it dies. Well, it could last forever if you got enough charge on it, right? That's kind of how that kind of stuff works. So can you do it? Absolutely. I feel like one AGM Group 31 in the back of your car is the biggest upgrade you can do in the beginning. Yes, it takes power to make power to do your big three, but honestly, stock alts, you're not going to see a huge gain, a huge difference because of the run of the wire. It's common practice to just redo it anyway because it's stock. It might be an older car. The wire's been heated up from years and years of maybe your car's overheating or whatever the situation is. Throw some new OFC wire in there. Even if it's 4 gauge, you might see a little bit of a gain just because it's just audio wire. It's better wire. It's brand new. You're making sure the connections are good. You're using copper terminals instead of whatever they have in stock applications. But even then, you're using copper lugs and then your top hose terminals are aluminum. So it's like, well, how much of a gain is it really? But that's another rabbit hole for another day. But absolutely, I almost called you RGA 25. Yes, you'll be good, man. You'll be good. Even lead acid, it's just lead acid is frowned upon just because they can vent whenever they get over discharged, which could happen maybe if you're running 2000 RMS. You're just putting it through the wind. Facebook neuter me because I was going to neuter my dog. Yeah, dude, Facebook is... I thought, I'm like, man, I never got banned once on Facebook. And TikTok banned me. That's surprising. Joe Cook, thank you for tuning in, man. What is going on? SJC, Facebook dividing people, not bringing them together like 14.4 volts. I know, we were talking about that on the Rolling Thunder, where why isn't anyone at these big state competition shows and world shows? To be honest, I think a lot of it, yeah, it's money and expense, and people get jealous, and jealousy can ruin everything and just how life is. And, life is short, man. Life is real darn short, and Facebook and any social media platform, if you walk into the wrong room, it can be very devastating. That's why I try to stay in my lane. And you know, I've battled the internet trolls of my day, and I'm retired. I'm retired. So it's nice to have a place to be able to hang out with my homies, watch the chat with me, and get to talk with them after and have more one-on-one conversations. Of course, I got the Patreon, but the Discord is awesome to use for so many reasons, man. It really is. All right, let me scroll down here. Appreciate you guys all hanging out. Tom Williams, what's going on, man? I still need to meet you, buddy. I know you got that kicker comp R12, and didn't you go to state finals? I heard you went to state finals. I didn't have time to make the trip. It was about 2.5 hours away from me, and just a lot going on, as you see. Appreciate you tuning in, man. I can't wait to meet you, honestly. Gonna change my kicker 12 comp R to a 12 L7R. You know what? You are going to be very happy because an L7S might need a little bit more power, but can handle more and be louder. But the L7R is a very good trade-off because you're going to gain that cone area without sacrificing any to maybe little efficiency. You know, honestly, I think maybe the L7R might be more efficient watt for watt just because of how that stuff works on the spectrum of how they measure sensitivity. But in real world applications, you're going to be louder, man. And I love those L7Rs. I got them in the quad box. And I built a enclosure for 215 L7Rs. And man, did people, their faces when Cedric was pulling up into the mecha lanes in Modified Street 1 doing like a 143 on 650 watts clamped at the headrest. And they're like, wow, that's kickers? That's 215s in this class only clamping 600-700 watts doing a 43 at the headrest, you know, big Suburban. They're great subs, man. You know, I hear from people that the L5 was more SPL friendly in the lanes because it was just more efficient. Yes, the L7S could take more power, but it needed more power too, and it's more for like a daily build, you know, a more overall, maybe if you want to call it, punchier build, punchier sub, but not really. But, you know, in lane's terms, yeah, absolutely. The L7R, I'm getting confused here, too many L75, R7S, L7Rs are the middle of the road, you know, because they had the L3, and that was like a kicker comp similarity, and you got the comp R, so the L7R is kind of like that. So you're just going to gain. Can't wait to hear it, man. See ya. Thank you for tuning in. All right, let me scroll down here. Kibo, as an audio guy, you make connections that aren't often obvious in general. Right. You mean connections as in people or connections as in terminals? All right, SJC, thank you, man. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Hit the like. Appreciate that. It just, you know, YouTube analytics, you got to. Double E, what is going on? Good morning to y'all from Australia. No, Australia. Not Australia. The other place. Not Portuguese. You know the thing. Thanks for tuning in. Good morning, man. Appreciate that you're here. All right, let me scroll down. AGM battery that does 2K. Where? Every battery does, man. You know, it's just how long is it going to last? How much damage are you doing? You know, how long can it take up that abuse? And 2000 RMS is relative. You know, you could have 2000 RMS on a 100% efficient amplifier that never existed, and you're pulling, what, 14.4 volts divided by 2000 watts is going to give you your current, and that's going to be like, what, 80 some? No, 80, let me think. 80, no. 190, 180, 180, 175, 170, something like that. 170 amps on a 100% efficient amplifier. But then you run a cheap Chinese or Korean build amplifier, maybe Scar, maybe something just cheaper, not as efficient, and you're pulling twice that. You're pulling 400 amps of current, and you're clipping, so you're pulling 425. You know, and so 2000 RMS is relative. But I'm just kind of going by the, you know, average amplifier. And, yeah, man, you know, so honestly, batteries are stronger than you think, and they'll take a little bit more abuse than a lithium will just because of just how it's designed, you know, man, I don't know. It's just batteries, AGM, lead acid, they've been around for a long time. They really kind of mastered it, of just the chemistry of just how they're built. And, That's why they're starting batteries, man. They are built to literally, not AGM in particular, but just wet cell batteries are meant for cranking start batteries. You know, batteries are all designed to do different things, and they're going to have pros and cons in each category of how they're designed. And it just depends what you are trying to do with your system. Do you want reserve? Do you want cranking? Do you want instant power and better charge rate? Do you want weight or no weight? Doesn't matter to you, you know, and just all that stuff, man. It's crazy. It really is. Actually 543 years in the future. The year is 2565 from where I am from. Great Scott! Thanks for tuning in again, man. 25 says, that's official, Andy. Gonna get an alternator too. You have to, man. With this, you know, I hate telling people that, you know, on Kicker Club or anyone asking, and they're like, well, what could I do to make my electrical better? And I always say, throw an AGM in the back and you'll be better, which you will. You know, you're not going to be melting fuses up front because the battery's going to be doing all the work, and your amp's going to be a lot happier because it has something to pull from rather than a long wire that's pulling to nothing in your stock battery up front. But man, if you're in this hobby, you're asking questions here, you should upgrade your alt with the car that you want to be your base ride, just because at the end of the day, you're going to be happier. Yes, you could go with lithium that is just higher density, maybe even a higher voltage, and run a stock alt. Absolutely, man. You know, it is the future for that. I've seen people do that, you know, and not even have their engine running and their full tilt boogie 30-second par compound, and then their voltage went down 0.2 volts. Now, voltage differences on lithium and AGM totally different, but still, didn't even drop below 15. I'm like, damn, C-Max for the win. But that's a lot of money too, and you kind of got to know what you're doing. So, but at the end of the day, you still want a high output alternator, and I don't want to get down to the road of cheap versus quality, because there is a difference. Let me tell you. I don't know the intricate workings of them all, but just, you know, how amplifiers and subwoofers, cheaper and more expensive. Usually when you pay less, you're getting less, maybe less longevity, and just how all products work, man. So if you're going to do it, go all in, man. Go all in. Sorry, I got to pick my nose over for a second. All right, Bobby B, Andy, new alt for the quad band in the future. Yeah, my buddy was actually going to bill me one, DJ. I don't know what's going on with that. If he doesn't do that, I'm just going to get one from Tom at Ohio Gen in the springtime. Just cuz. But, you know, that alternator that's in there is a brand new stock one. I mean, not brand new, it's 2 years old. We had the car for a week, and the alternator crapped the bed when we were on vacation, so couldn't get a high output alternator then all the way down North Carolina. So, you know, not jumping on it, but my voltage is really good, honestly. The only time I see 12.6, I'm at the light, AC's on, heat's on, and I'm clipping. That JY HP40 is doing some work back there with that ultra capacitor, the Loxus, or however you pronounce it. I can go for a little while without any voltage drop, obviously, when the super capacitor, ultra capacitor gets depleted, which can be not that long, but it does better with the lithium in the back supplying the power. Again, it's just, you know, running away from the inevitable. You know, you need that high output current, so eventually I will get a high output alternator, man. But honestly, I'm okay for now, which is good. And honestly, yes, you can get a very high quality, high output alternator, but at the end of the day, stock ones are built very strong, man. They are built very strong, in my opinion, stronger than anything aftermarket. And that's why I kind of don't want to tell people to just go for a high output alternator, because then, you know, I just see people that run into issues more often than someone running a stock. I've blown up a stock alt, but that was from years and years of abuse. And I'm talking maybe clamping 800 to 1,000 watts the entire life, but running 4-gauge wire. If I would have had a battery back there, that alternator never would have went. That's the thing. So it's kind of hard to, you know, be like, oh yeah, just drop your money, get a high output alternator. Hopefully you keep that car, you know, but that is the right answer. All right, let me scroll down here. Don't insult 25 by calling him me. Oh, Kibo. I've been hearing some mixed information that sometimes it's not great to upgrade an alternator or on some of these newer cars. Any truth to that? I mean, I kind of went around a little bit of what I said, but on newer cars, I feel like the biggest problem you're going to run into is the voltage regulator. I would just run an external one because a lot of these newer cars and just they kick back the alternator. I know Hondas are notorious for it, and some GM trucks, where fuel efficiency and the batteries are charged. Even my Honda does it a little bit. If the batteries are charged, it'll actually lower the output of the alt or completely kind of shut it down. And that kind of sucks for car audio. So getting an external voltage regulator is probably a must, but you're going to have to know which vehicle. And honestly, if you have an external voltage regulator, you're going to have all the control you want. Say you want to run, lead acid AGM for a while, set your voltage at 14.4, 14.8. And then you want to upgrade to lithium or lithium iron phosphate, lithium titanate, where those have two different voltages, but lithium iron phosphate runs with regular AGM voltage range, which is great, and that's why I love suggesting it, but the power density compared to a lithium titanate, lithium ion is less for, weight and space and size and all that kind of fun stuff. But they need a higher voltage depending, how they're wired. 5 series, 6 series, 4 series, all that stuff. There's a lot to get into it. That's why I try not to go too deep into it. Just try to keep it simple for you guys. But, honestly, with a new car, I would, if you're going big, if you're going more than a 2,000, 3,000 RMS amp, start thinking about upgrading your alternator big time. What is this? Oh, this is from Twitter? Not Twitter. What's the other one? Twitch. Live Along with Andy, have a good broadcast. Catch promo code 10 viewers for 24 hours. GV, Trovo, YouTube, TikTok, Insta. We can do everything. Tired of ad. Write us. We'll turn it off. Google us. Get view or what the ad? You know what? I don't even think I want to stream on Twitter and Twitch anymore. What the heck was that? No one watches from there anyway. Double E says, I gotta tighten them with my tea. Let's see here. Wow, 51 minutes. We kind of flew by that real fast. The Rolling Thunder podcast was pretty good too. It really was. Bobby B, Andy, you need to do another giveaway unless you want me to be the only one to win. I know. I need to do that. I'm really waiting for things to wind down just a little bit. Get the Amp Dyno thing going. Get the new computer set up. Get the garage cleaned. Get my Eclipse in the garage. And, man, the motorcycles, mine's almost done. Kayla's needs to go in and just get serviced just to look at. Make sure everything's good. Check the valves, all that stuff. Check the timing chain. There's just a lot. And then daughter's birthday, Aaliyah's coming up on the 16th. Skating party day after. Or skating party the week before, and then her actual birthday, and then the weekend after that is when we go for our motorcycle permit test. It's just a lot of stuff, man. Oh, should I say motorcycle driver's test course, the MSF, motorcycle safety thing, the thing. I want to do giveaways. I still need to do the Walmart video. Man, I want to do giveaways, though. Trust me. It just, with the whole shipping thing, and, man, I can't even ship out stuff from my door. I have to go to the post office. It's kind of annoying. I know anywhere else you live, if you can fit it in an envelope, you put it in your mailbox, I'll take it. My place, they won't do that, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. But either way, I still want to get you guys stuff. I got a lot of lanyards, but I know you guys probably got those. But if anyone wants a lanyard, man, hit me up at livinglowwithandy@gmail.com or the Discord if you already got it, man. And I'll get you guys a lanyard. I think that's awesome. And if you're watching here, you'll know, and I know you know because then you'll email me that you're watching the show and I'll get you a lanyard. At least I could do for you guys. So you win no matter what. So I guess that's not a giveaway. That's just, here, take it. We'll do it. We'll do something, Bobby. I promise, man. We got nothing but time. Nothing but time. John K. Random alternator questions since they were mentioned. If you got a huge alternator upgrade, would a battery upgrade still be beneficial, and if so, why? Ooh, very good question. Okay, so let's just say you have a 300 amp alternator, and you got an amp that pulls 200 amps, and you're never going to pull more than the alternator can supply. Then you technically wouldn't even need a big battery. the battery is there for reserve. One, for cranking power to turn your car over. Can't start the car with a, very, very small battery. It's just not going to have the cranking power. So I've seen people do it where they had just a lead acid up front, a 320 amp alt, and 5,000 watt system in the back, and it'll work, but you're really putting your alternator at risk because it's constantly charging that battery, the discharge rate of whatever battery you have, and the reserve capacity that it has. So if it can't even discharge fast enough to keep the amplifier happy, voltage drops, and then you're putting more strain on your alt. So at the end of the day, it's just you're kind of putting more strain on the alternator rather than the battery if you go bigger on the alt. But either way, even if you have a small alt, you're just putting strain on everything. But that's when I think amplifiers go into protect, because then your voltage drops so much. You see 10, 9 volts, things shut off, so things don't blow up and go bad. But man, you gotta have a little bit of reserve in case you get a voltage spike. You're playing some music, it's got some dynamic range and it's pulling some current. The alternator just really isn't meant for that. It's just a continuous power. I don't know. It's just, a battery is there for a reason, man. And I would say, at least at the minimum, have something where you have a high output alternator, have one AGM up front, one AGM in the back. You can run lead acid isolator, who cares? Just run a lead acid AGM in the back. If you don't care about your batteries that much, just do it, you'll be okay. But at least you'll have the power rather than having no AGM in the back, and it's just going to be constant drain on that front little battery, and your alternator is going to be really doing a lot of work. One, because there's no battery in the back taking the initial load. All the power is being drawn over a very long charge wire. It's crazy, man. And I learned that just by simply clamping 4,000 watts with one battery in the back, two CX1800s wired at 1 ohm, rising to 2, each clamping their rated power, clipping, of course. But I was probably dropping to 11 volts, man. Maybe lower, maybe 10.8, 10.5. I don't know. I have no idea. But I would just assume so, because everything was 0 gauge, and the charge wire from the front battery to the rear was an 8 gauge wire with 50 amps of fusing. If I would have a 1-aught wire with a bigger fuse, is it going to charge faster? I think that's a lot on what the alternator does and what it senses. So why didn't it blow my fuse? The voltage is literally being all pulled from that battery. The battery's doing all the work. And then the battery's saying, hey, I need some juice, but alternator's like, nah, you're good. Nah, you don't need that much. You're okay. Here's some juice for you. It's crazy how it worked, man, but, it just goes to show a battery in the trunk is going to save you. Now, if I didn't have a battery in the trunk and I had just that 8 gauge wire and it was just running, even if it was 0 gauge in the trunk and I had a little distributor and went from 8 gauge to the front battery, that fuse would have went like, boom, quickly. And it's crazy how that stuff works, and it just, yes, you can get away with a lot, but you kind of don't want to, man. You really don't, and it depends how long you play it. Like, if you're just burping, sure, have some fun. Running down the street with your kids in the car like that, I wouldn't suggest it. I really wouldn't. Yes, PA State Finals, Mecha Stock Class. Absolutely, man. You did great. We appreciate you guys competing in the lanes, man. We really, really, really do. Dub team, I know. Dub team's from Australia. That's where he's from, out in the outback. I always get them two confused. Best mistake you could ever make. Man, I'm really, really far behind. Wow, that is substantial. Only lights in my truck, not LED or headlights, so more yet can be saved. Yeah, you could, even with dimming headlights, I mean, honestly, it's, you'll dim even when you're at 14 volts. It's weird how, that stuff kind of works. Barry Dunbar, thanks for tuning in. I don't know if you're still here. I'm so far behind on the comments tonight, guys. Man, I could really use some help in my system. I can keep my batteries charged. The alt is working, but after 3 or 4 days of pounding, I can't keep them charged. I'm stumped and needed help. Get a nice trickle charger battery. Go to Walmart. Buy a DeWalt charger. It's for AGMs. It doesn't say lithium, but you can do it. Trust me, I do it all the time. At least lithium iron phosphate. And lead acid. It should have like 15 amps of charging, 2-3 amp. It's automatic, and then it has a jump start feature too. $50, man. It's the best $50 you're going to spend, and mine's been lasting forever. Stanley, not DeWalt, Stanley. Cheaper, but still. You got to charge your batteries once in a while. When you get in your car, you're like, oh, my batteries need charge. You drive for like a block, and then you start turning your system up. And your batteries are just never going to be topped off per se, regardless, with the alternator charging them or not. It's nice to throw a charge on top of it just to refresh everything. And man, I don't know what kind of... I think you had AGMs in the back. I forget what you got going on, but a stock alt, if that's what you got still, man, it's only going to do so much. That battery tender got me through so many seasons. You know, the night before the show, you believe we are charging up. Because it would make a significant difference. I would get like 3 or 4 demos more where it's just more impactful, and then if I wouldn't charge, it's like I would get like 1 or 2, and then I can noticeably change, or I can noticeably tell the difference of my voltage and just the overall performance of my system, of how it was sounding. It was just depleted. Because then if your batteries are depleted, all you're getting is your alternator in a sense. You know, it's that's what you skim down to. That's your rock bottom, is what your alternator can do. Your batteries can discharge faster, you know, and just give you that power when you need it. That's what they're there for. Nice. I'm at the lookout for AB amps and a hot dog. No, amp is hot at the moment. Check out the Down for Sound amps, man. If you want some AB in your life and some power, man, and for the price, it's right in the middle of the road, buddy. All right, let me scroll down here. Let's Fit Direct. He had weird voltages. All right. Thanks, Guy. Anytime, Kibo. It's what we do, man. If I can do that once a day, it's all that matters. AGM battery it is. Grab a Group 31 excess power or a Kinetic if you're on the budget. I love Kinetic. They got me through. But excess power is going to give you a little bit more longevity, I think. A little bit more power, too. And grab the 2400s if you get a Kinetic. Don't get the big boy. Don't get the big 48 or whatever it is. Not worth it. 2400 is all you need. And it's like $220. Totally worth it. You could go to AutoZone and get a Platinum. I forget what they're called. They're okay. 70 amps, at least for a Group 34. 70 amp hours. Don't worry about amp hours either. Amp hours are totally different, but for what we do, but they will give you an idea on like a deep cycle, low discharge kind of situation for boats. You know, you got your radio going and whatever. Yeah, you're good for 110 hours at a 2 amp discharge, or 110 amps at 1 hour if that's 1C. But I don't think it works like that. It might, but usually it's a 20-hour rating, so it's like 20 hours. It'll do, 110 amp hours at like 5 amps for 20 hours. I don't know. For 5.5 amps. I don't know. It's weird how they rate those. Totally different than lithium. I mean, at the same time, it's the same, but they don't put listings of like 3C or 2C ratings on AGM batteries. They just don't. I'm sure you can find it, but they just don't. And they just don't put out as much either. They can't put out the entire discharge of what their amp hours rating is, where a lot of lithiums can, and then more so. And that comes down to a lot, man. Yeah, it was spam, Dave. Definitely spam, whatever that was. Double E, that's a bot. Welcome to the big time. Oh no. I guess you could put it that way. Spam. It was Deviant for Life. Incognito was really trying to say, I love you, bro, I miss you. I feel like that's really how he feels, I feel the same, man. I love you too. Hey, it might have been. This show is rigged, especially on Tuesday. It's a Tuesday thing, but, it carries over. Always carries over. Yay for the lanyard. Yeah, Bubba, if you want one, I got you, bro. Go on. Send you like 5. Okay. Do the lanyards come in beardy dragon sizes? Maybe. They do have a small lanyard, which I do have an extra one. And it's like, I use it for the motorcycle. And I hook it on. It's like a little short lanyard. And that might work around Beardy's neck. Right around the koozie, Colby is here. What is going on, Colby? Blaze Existence. Thanks for rigging Tuesday's contest. Didn't believe I really won until I got the email today. Awesome, man. You know, and it's just awesome that they do that for us here on this channel too, along with the Unmasked show. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Enjoy the stuff, man. The swag is awesome. The shirts are cool. The koozies are cool. And of course, I forget what you got. I can't tell by your name there. But you either got the Kush NCs, Tabor 2s, the EB400s, man. All good stuff. Thanks for tuning in again, man. This is awesome. All right. Anakin thought about doing his second battery, but only running 1500 watts at the moment. Not really needed. Using a single Optima red top AGM and 130 amp OEM alternator. Yeah, dude, absolutely. It depends what 1500 watt amp, you know, we talked about efficiency and all that kind of stuff, but if it's a 1500 watt, you're probably not even seeing that. No matter what the efficiency, you're probably pulling 100, 150 amps, give or take. So you're right around there of your OEM alternator. So if you have your single top AGM up front, I know Optima is not what it used to be, especially the red tops, yellow top. I remember getting the car audio back in 2006, 7. You know, that was the battery to get. But like a lot of things, they kind of made them a little cheaper. So, and with what we do and what's available today, it just makes sense to get something additional or replace it and additional for the rear, just so that current isn't being drawn, and your alternator is going to thank you. I'm telling you, man. Just like that I was talking about with the pulling 4,000 watts from the rear battery and a 50 amp fuse 8-gauge wire. It was fine because there was a battery in the back. Now, are those batteries going to be charged at 50 amps? No, not at all. That battery's going to die. Fuse never blown. Never blown. I think I need to upgrade that. That's one thing I still just need to do. I got all the wire to do so. I just haven't I just haven't done it. I haven't had a system big enough to really need it either. And it's been okay. But her car's got a lot of things going. I got a head unit to put in there, obviously L7Xs and 0-gauge wire, big 3, the whole kit and caboodle, new speaker wire for all the doors. That's the next project car, man. It's going to be fun. She's going to like it, though. Did I skip, like, all the chat? No, I just caught up. Awesome. Cool. Awesome. Unless it's, like, frozen and it does that kind of stuff, but it's okay. Anakin occasionally dips 13.8 at the lowest, 14 to 14.5, give or take. That's good. That means that your alternator is still doing all the powering and your batteries haven't even been touched yet, in a sense. Think of it that way. Not really what's happening, but in a sense, that's what's happening. All alternator power, it's keeping everything happy. But make sure that voltage reading is at the amp and not the front of the car. I know a lot of people put them in a cigarette lighter and they're like, oh yeah, I'm good, 14 volts, but in the rear you're 12.8. Trust me on this, but hopefully that's not the case. If it isn't, then your voltage should be good, man, honestly. That's not a 1500 watt Boss amp, is it? Using a Cobb access port. I know those for like the two-step thing. For voltage monitoring, ooh, yeah, no. That's going to be reading like the cigarette lighter. It's not going to read what the amp is. I can read your mind. So yes, get a voltmeter, digital multimeter. Get one. You're going to need it, and hook it to the back. Make sure you can see it. If you got it, well, you got a Subaru, so you should have a hatchback or a trunk. So prop it in a way so you can see the voltage, or sit in the back if you can't, and play some music. And especially at idle, that's where you're going to see, you know, least voltage when you're just sitting there. See what the voltage is dropping to. You're probably going to see 12.6, 12.4. You shouldn't see much lower than that unless you got the AC cranked and you're playing for a while and you're clipping. Depends how much current. Again, yeah, do not go off that. I'm glad you commented, because that is exactly what we are here to do. Trying to just help you guys out. Dub Team is crying because he's sitting at 11.2 volts. Hey, it's okay, man. Voltage gets low sometimes, just like tonight. It's okay. It'll bounce right back. Running over tonight, but we're having fun. Yeah, eventually, if I ever expand the system, I may think about an extra battery. I really want the L7X when it's released. Maybe then. Oh, definitely, dude. Definitely, just because if your voltage is stronger, there's less chance that you're going to clip your amplifier, if that makes sense, just because your amplifier is happier. When your voltage is low from power being pulled from the amp to begin with, and then you keep going, you can hit the rail voltage maximum because the power supply doesn't have enough power to generate a clean sine wave at that setting of just where you're playing at, of how the amp is constructed, how the music is being generated, amplified through the amp. Now, if you have even if you have a full, what's it called, regulated amp, you could still clip, but it'll still put out the power, if that makes sense. Fully regulated, they'll put out the power at, 11 volts to 14 volts. They'll put out the same amount of power. All they do is pull more current, means lower voltage drop. But I feel like those tend to have less clip because of how they are engineered to do that. Now, non-regulated amps, they'll make more power at higher voltage. They'll make less at low voltage. And the reason of that is the same reason why you would clip earlier with the low voltage. You're reaching your max potential. So, to have good electrical is very, 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 very key. And it's the one thing that I skipped on, and everybody does it in the beginning, unless you had somebody holding your hand along the way in the beginning. And it's just, you want the big amps, you want the big subs, you want the big boom, but you want to do all the running to the wire, upgrading the alternator, all that kind of stuff. But if you're going to run the L7X, I absolutely would get a battery back there at the very minimum, just to keep things hunky-dory back there. Okay, so we have two Discords. We have the 14.4 Talk Discord, and that is a VIP link. Deviant may be able to get that for you, or maybe 25, since we got 25 here. And I also have a Discord as well, and I don't have that linked anywhere, but if you got Discord, just look up Living Loud with Andy. It's the same thing, and it's public there, so jump on in. Both of the chats, man, we bounce back and forth. Just started mine, but the 14.4 Talk is the OG, and it is where we began and where we will finish, and it's an awesome group chat, and that's where we just like to throw some food at the wall and have some fun, you know what I mean? But hey, both Discords are great, and yeah, we're gonna end it on that. Thanks for tuning in, man, and all your questions. I am happy to help you. It's okay, El Fuego. I know. You have to watch later. It was a good show. It really was. Voltage is being read from the OBD deck. Yeah, that's just up front. You're gonna have some voltage drop unless your system's perfect. Knowing what you got, no. OBD, yes. Yeah, don't go by that. Get a voltmeter. You can go to Down for Sound, get a voltmeter for like $10. Amazon, hook it up. Do not hook it up to the remote wire. You're gonna have to run a dedicated switch, unless it has 3 wires where it has a yellow, a red, and a black. The yellow would go to your ignition, like your remote, and then your red would go to your constant, or backwards, sorry. Red would go to ignition, which would be your remote. Those are nice. If they have 2 wires, skip on it, because then you have to add a switch. But it's nice to have voltmeter and see what you're doing real time, no matter what. In case you have a problem, hey, how's my voltage? Oh, 9 volts. That's not good. It's nice to know. I know you got the one up front, but got to have something in the back too, man, especially for what we're doing. Awesome, guys. I appreciate you all hanging out, and we had an awesome show. I will see you guys Tuesday, and of course, I'll check you guys out on the after show on the Discord. 14.4 volts for the win, and yeah, man. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in, watching, hanging out. It was an awesome Friday show, and I'll see you on the after show, Unmasked after show on Tuesday too. So thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys at the caboose. Stay living loud. See you next time. I really need to get some kind of sound animation for some kind of train, whistle, something at the end. I feel like that would be kind of perfect, you know, something to end off the show, you know, like, all aboard! And speaking of the cabooses, we got Cornut here. Had to pull over. See y'all in Discord. 14.4 with another 14.4. Love y'all. Peace. Oh, no, I see it right here. Bubba's coming in for the win with a $20 super chat for our boy Fuego and Cornut. Appreciate you guys. I will see you next time and the after party in the 14.4 Discord. See you guys next time.